Hello my friends, welcome back to the channel. I am so excited for today's episode because we are going to be meal prepping for an entire week. But let me tell you this, I made the meals today. They're containers about this big, they are filled to the brim, and this is not food for an entire week. This is food for probably 2 weeks. I have already eaten some with my family and it is so delicious. It is not that hard to make. It's also really healthy too. Like, come on now. It's vegetables, it's rice, it's chicken. It's the fundamentals, it's the basics, it's the essentials, and it's better than just going out and eating Tim Hortons every week. Certainly when I go to the mall at my job and I didn't bring the right food, the temptation is real to just go to the food court and buy something that I want to eat. But hey, now I know I won't because I have these meals prepped, and this is definitely, and this is definitely my plan going into university because honestly, I'm gonna be spending all day there. So I'll leave the ingredients and the instructions in the description below. Let's jump right into it. I'm super excited, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Let's jump in. To be meal prepping. I'm just gonna start by putting my chicken in the microwave to defrost. It's just a bunch of Costco chicken that we bag when we bring it home, and yeah, I'm just gonna put it right in the microwave. Okay, so we're gonna start out by just taking our onions and garlic and all stuff like that, and then putting it into one bowl because that gets cooked first so it can saute. I don't know why, but I feel like when I'm making onions, if I don't breathe in with my nose while I'm cutting them, then my eyes don't water. And I don't know if that's science, but that's what happens to me. Okay, I only cut maybe 4 or 5 of these little baby onions, and they're so small, there's hardly any. If you look at the amount of food that we're actually making here, this is nothing. So I'm gonna go see if I can find some big chunky onions. Mission accomplished. Don't mind the literal tears streaming down my face right now. This might seem obvious, but I see a lot of people cutting with little tiny knives, and I like never ever use a little tiny knife. I always use a big fat massive knife, so I just find that it's a lot easier and safer. This is a massive amount of onion, but it is going to shrink down, and we're using a ton of onion because I actually love onion. So let's go. Just transferring bowls here, a little bit of bowl transferring action. Listen to that sound. I've actually never made a cooking video before, so this is a new experience, and it's pretty epic. It's pretty fun. Okay, so we just finished cutting both of our onions. Which one do you prefer? Leave a message in the comments down below to let me know if you prefer the baby ones or the big ones.
The big ones.
This is my sister Evie. Come on, don't be shy.
Hey guys.
Taller than me by the minute. Now we're going to begin cutting our other vegetables, but first I'm going to take my onions and I'm going to let them simmer on the stove because the longer the onions are simmering, the better they taste. And honestly, there's not really a time limit for how long these guys can hang out over the fires. So I have to turn the stove fan on, so it's gonna be a tad bit noisy, but that's okay. We're gonna keep going anyway. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and take these, throw them right in there with the oil. I'm gonna start chopping up these vegetables, and I think we're gonna start with the peppers because peppers have a similar consistency to onions, so we'll throw them in there too. Whenever I'm batch cooking, it always feels like way too much food, and then it ends up being just the right amount of food, if not enough food. So don't be afraid to use like a comically huge pile of vegetables when you're making food for multiple meals. And I know this because I have a family of 6, and when I cook for the whole family, it's actually a massive amount of food, and we eat a lot. So yeah, make a lot. Alright, now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna cut up the cauliflower and broccoli. And I don't want to make these too big because the vibe isn't vegetable platter, the vibe is stir fry. So I'm no expert chef, but personally I don't want a massive chunk of cauliflower. I find that sometimes it's just easier to tear the broccoli than it is to actually cut it. So I mean, I'm just gonna do that. I'm just gonna tear it kind of into little strips. And then I'll just cut off any weird big pieces and oh my gosh. I guess you could do like steamed broccoli or something like that. But just for time and convenience here, we're trying to keep it simple because we just want to make stuff for the week in the fastest way possible. So I have all my little broccoli and cauliflower. I tore up all my trees. Now I'm just gonna chuck my forest in. I don't want my vegetables to be too hard. I want them to be a little bit soft, a little bit moist. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put a lid on top of the frying pan. All right, time for carrots. So carrots, you could chop them, but personally, I like to peel them. It's way faster, it's way easier, and I like the texture, so let's do it. Okay, so I'm literally just taking one of these things, and first I'm gonna peel the carrot, as one would regularly peel a carrot. Don't be afraid to make a big mess here, because you can always clean it up after, and it's hard to peel carrots trying not to make a mess. Okay, I'm just gonna put those in my bowl. I'm gonna take my carrots, and I'm just gonna peel them like that. You can't see what I'm doing here. I'm using the short end of the carrot as like a handle, and then I'm just peeling across the thick end of the carrot. Once it gets this small, you can just chuck it in there. Just gonna do a quick little cleanup. Chicken. Alright, I know some people are afraid of chicken, but you actually don't have to wear a whole hazmat suit when you're cutting chicken. You just have to wash your hands and surfaces after, and that's all, and you're good. I'm just gonna cut this into thinner strips because chunky chicken is sometimes dry and gross and hard. So I like it nice and thin. Cooked a little bit when I was defrosting in the microwave because I forgot to break it up and turn it around halfway through, but that's okay because we're cooking our chicken anyway. When I make meals beforehand, it literally makes my life 100 times easier and better. Just being able to open up the fridge and pull something out of the fridge that you've already made, it's like the best feeling. Defrost, and then I said that it's about 3 pounds. So since the chicken's a little bit overcooked, I would maybe put 2.5 pounds next time for the amount of chicken that I had. So I can always check on it and add a little more time if I want to. Now I'm gonna throw marinade in here. It's not gonna be fancy. It's gonna be really simple. So I'm basically just taking a little bit of tamari sauce or soy sauce, literally teriyaki marinade and sauce, and Tabasco sauce just for a little bit of spice because I like my spice, and then a bit of beef broth. Whoa, beef broth. Now we're going to be making the sauce. sauce, and it's just kind of a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and we're just going off of our heart and mind and a few internet searches. So I'm gonna start by adding water. So I have a cup of water here, but I'm probably gonna add a bit more. Because the thing about this is that we're not really measuring to begin with. We're just kind of making a lot of vegetables and a lot of meat and putting it all together. So we're just gonna see how it goes. This is soy sauce, brown sugar, honey, a little bit of ground ginger, and garlic powder. So I'm just gonna turn this to medium heat, and I'm gonna let it sit for about 1 minute. And the way that the sauce gets thick in consistency is just a bit of cornstarch. And the way that I like to think about it is that it's a quarter the amount of cornstarch for however much water you're putting in. So as thick as you want the sauce. I guess if you wanted a little bit thicker, you'd add more cornstarch, but I'm just gonna do a cold cup of water, and then I'm gonna add like a quarter cup of cornstarch each. Now I'm just gonna stir this up for a bit and let it cook. Okay, so this is about the consistency that we want. If you put a spoon in it, the spoon's gonna come out with sauce stuck to it. I'm gonna add some more soy sauce, a little more garlic powder, and a little bit of tabasco. In the meantime, I'm gonna make my rice. And the way this rice cooker works is that it has a little 5 on it right here. So for 5 cups of water, it's gonna be up to 5 in the rice cooker. For the rice to have a coconutty flavor, I'm just gonna add a little bit of coconut oil. And I know this is a super white person thing to do, but we're also gonna add some butter. The rice is cooking. Don't forget to stir it occasionally. Now we're gonna cook our chicken, and I'm just gonna turn the heat on high, medium high, and I'm gonna throw some oil in there. And a little bit of garlic. Now I'm just gonna start adding the chicken. While I'm cooking the chicken, I'm just gonna add some spices to make it more flavorful. While that's cooking, I'm just going to, in the meantime, add a can of black beans and a can of corn to the vegetables, just to maximize the amount of food that we're actually making. So the chicken's been cooking for a while. I think it's good to be mixed in. Okay, so now I'm just gonna go ahead and dump the sauce in there. That's good. All right, guys, so we finished the rice, we finished the stir fry part, and now we just gotta put it in the container. So Let's go. There you have it. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pre-prepped meals, which is pretty sick because, like I mentioned, I work in the mall, so it's really nice to have something where I can avoid going to the food court, and I can just bring something that I already brought, and it tastes really good too. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Join the community, join the team. We've almost reached our 50 subscriber mark. We're in the early days of the channel. So thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!